Have you ever thought that, you know what, I have overcome this, only to find out that there was some more right behind it hiding? We're going to talk about that today in Genesis chapter 13. Well, hey, everybody, it's your lead seed sowing sister, Patrice. Thank you for joining me for this morning's seed. We're jumping right into Genesis chapter 13. As y'all know, we're going to read the word, break down the word, and leave with the Q to P. So Abraham went up from Egypt to the Negev with his wife and everything he had, and Lot went with him. Abraham had become very wealthy in livestock and silver and gold. From the Negev, he went from place to place until he went to Bethel. He came to Bethel, and to the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had been earlier, and where he had first built an altar. There Abram, called on the name of the Lord. Now Lot, who was moving along with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, but the land could not support them while they stayed together. For their possessions were so great that they were not able to stay together. And quarreling arose between Abram's herdmen and the herdmen of Lot. The Canaanite and the Perizzites were also living in the land at the time. So Abram said to Lot, let us not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herdsmen and mine, for we are brothers. Is not the whole land before you? Let us part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left. Lot looked up and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt toward Zoar. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan and set out towards the east. The two men parted company. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tent near Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had parted from him, lift up your eyes from where you are and look north and south, east and west. All the land that you see, I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth. So if anyone can count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Go walk through the length and the breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you. So Abraham moved his tents and went to live near the great trees of Mamre at Hebron, where he built an altar to the Lord. All right, y'all, let's get into this because this, we talked about what Abraham had yesterday and how, you know, he had moved away from the countrymen, he had moved away from his people, the places to follow the purpose that God had called him to do. Excuse me. But as he moved away, we noticed that one of the spirits was still in his backpack, the spirit of fear. But if you notice, this time it's not Abram. It's two other spirits that are still following along. This time you see the spirits of immaturity and quarreling. And what I love about this is how Abraham shows you how to handle that quarrel without being hurtful, without it destroying a relationship. So let's break this down a little bit. They get here. Abram has been so blessed that he has enough that his nephew Lot is getting the overflow from just being in his presence, right? Because they're connected. That's a whole word right there to preach on by itself. Who you connected to can either help you excel or fail. Another word, another day. The other part that I love about this is that when Abram saw that there was quarreling between Lot's herdsmen and his herdsmen, he quickly addressed it. He didn't wait. It didn't become a mind reading thing. He didn't sit and stew on it. he quickly addressed it. And when he addressed it, he did it in such a way that he let him know, listen, we are brothers. And he said in front of him, is not this whole land available to both of us? He even told Lot, he said, wherever you go, if you go to the left, I'll go to the right. And if you go to the right, I'll go to the left. He gave Lot the opportunity to pick whatever which way he wanted to go, so there would be no hard feelings. What I love about this one piece is that he's showing us how to handle disagreements in a positive way, because the spirit of immaturity was already there. The second spirit that came up was quarreling. Some people will never have peace unless they're arguing with somebody. I don't care what they do, I don't care who they're around. It is something about I have to argue that they just can't let go. And you can tell this was a spirit that was in their household because it showed up in the herdsmen. The herdsmen are under each of their control. And you can see who allowed this in their space and who didn't. The other part that I loved, that I really loved about how Abram handled this was he gave him the pick of the land, but he also said, take whatever you need to take with you. He didn't hold it in his heart. Because a lot of times when things happen, we go from being, okay, I'm blessing this person, to now I'm bitter with this person. I'm mad with this person. He got to the point, he said, you know what? Because we are brothers, I'm not even going to let this upset us. Go ahead. Move the way you need to go. Today, I want you to look at your life. As we see with Abram, there were three spirits that followed him into his new. It was the spirit of fear, it was the spirit of immaturity, and it was the spirit of quarreling. When you look at your life, what are those spirits that need to be cut off? Or what are those family spirits that need to be cut off? Because sometimes it may not even be a spirit you are aware of, it's a family spirit that is still walking with you, and you have no idea of it. All right. Well, I thank y'all for joining me for this morning's hug. Thank y'all so much. Remember that the Bible is not just history, it's a mirror that allows us to get closer to God and be intentional every day. You all have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.